besser.
What is up, everybody? This is Atticus the Death Metaller, and you guys are in for a treat. For this is the first album review video of 2016 from yours truly on this channel. And a better way to start off with album reviews with reviewing the debut album from the melodic death metal band Oracles with their debut release, Miserycorde. First, before we get down to the review of Miserycorde, let us go back in time to the band System Divide. Well, Atticus the Death Metaller, what are you talking about? I thought we were talking about Oracles, not this System Divide band. That's because System Divide was the original name for Oracles. Oh yeah, well, you're still not making a lot of sense. Motherfucker, System Divide has a lot to do with Oracles. So just shut up and let me continue on with this goddamn video. Jesus. System Divide was a melodic death metal band formed in 2008 under the marriage of Svendi Kalle from one of my favorite death grind bands, Aborted, and Miri Millman of the Israeli progressive metal band Distorted. They decided to form a band composed of themselves as vocalists and a couple of old friends with them. They released their debut EP in 2009, The Collapse, and the following year they released their debut album, The Conscious Sedation. This was a band that really took the world by storm, combining the brutal screams and growls of Sven with the beautiful melodic vocals of Miri, along with some kick-ass musicians behind them. They really made a name for themselves in the late 2000s during my later days of high school. Around 2012 and 2013, they were in the talks of creating their sophomore release, Cult of Indifference. They released a very kick-ass single off of their sophomore album dubbed Ephemera. But before there was any time to release additional info on Cult of Indifference, Miri and Sven had a nasty and messy divorce in 2013, which resulted in the band dying with it. This was very sad and very upsetting. This was a band formed out of a union, a commitment, a band that would keep a marriage together somehow, a band to have a husband and wife work together without being apart all the time. And yet, the relationship eroded from within and went nasty. And there was talks of 3 kick-ass special guests in Cult of Indifference as well. But all that burned to ashes like the divorce, and System Divide ceased to exist. But that wasn't until Oracles risen from the ashes of System Divide and revamped the spirit of the band, and thus brings us to the review of Miserycorde. Now, without a doubt, Miserycorde is a pretty fucking kick-ass release. If you like bands like Arch Enemy, Nevermore, Insomnium, Children of Bodom, Bloodshot Dawn, Scar Symmetry, and Arsis, then this is the kind of band I would recommend for you people. And of course, those that checked out the earlier content of System Divide will love the revamped version of Oracles. Now, Oracles was produced by famed metal producer Jacob Hansen, who has worked with bands such as Volbeat, Epica, Amaranth, and of course, Aborted. Now, this is a pretty kick-ass release that I would honestly feel if I was like getting in the mood of like getting shit out there. This is album that does talk a lot about a lot of conflicting struggles within the mind, politics, everything in the world going on. It's a kind of album that, you know, awakens you to the ills that are going on around the world. And with no serious doubt, because, I mean, 2016 is one fucked up year, of course, and shit like that. But yeah, this this band comprises of the vocalists, of course, TheDeathMetallerReviews, their new female vocalist, Sana Salu from the band Dim Light, and Steve Miller, who was formerly in System Divide. Then you have TheDeathMetallerReviews' bandmates, Ken Bettany on drums, and Mendel Dibelij. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right and shit, but yeah, he's the lead guitarist for the band. And of course, their bassist, Andrei Afimov. And that is pretty much, the current lineup of Oracles, aka former System Divide. Now, there was, of course, talks about 3 special guests that were supposed to be on Cult of Indifference, but they happened to be on Miserycorde. And I will tell you who those special guests, of course, were. Now, if you look at the tracks from Oracles, when it goes down to the very special guests, the first special guest from the track 2, The Tribulation of Man, is none other than the famed Swedish guitar hero from the band Scar Symmetry, Per Nilsson. And oh boy, Per fucking Nilsson. If you haven't heard of the band Scar Symmetry, I highly recommend you check these guys out. They are my all-time favorite melodic death metal band, and Per Nilsson nails it with this track. The second track, which features one of the special guests, is my favorite track from Miserycorde, Quandary's Obsolete. And it features the former guitarist for the Black Dahlia Murder, Ryan Knight. And of course, Ryan Knight brings out the good old influence that the Black Dahlia Murder brings out with every fucking album. And of course, the Black Dahlia Murder is an amazing and kick-ass band. So, I mean, check it out for yourself. And the final special guest is, of course, coming from the 6th track, Body of Ineptitude, none other than very famed shred legend Jeff Loomis, whom was known for his bands Nevermore, his namesake project, and of course his current band right now, Arch Enemy. This is probably one of my all-time favorite guitarists. He is a legendary player, just an outright epic guitarist, and just listen to the track yourself. It is insanely kick-ass. And though I am not going to overshadow other tracks from this album, because, I mean, without a doubt, there are some pretty amazing kick-ass like tracks which do not feature the special guests in this shit. And of course, I'm talking about tracks like Catabonic I Am, Scorn, Canvas of Me, Skin, but just listen to these amazing tracks. last but not least, probably one of the best tracks is, without a doubt, their cover from Marilyn Manson's The Beautiful People. And holy fucking shit, this track, this cover is a panty dropper. I am not fucking shitting with you. Just listen to it for yourself. So yeah, I think this concludes the album review for Oracles Miserycorde. Without a doubt, please support this band. Please check them out on the description below to their Bandcamp. Please order their debut release, Miserycorde. And actually, no, this is actually technically their sophomore release, when in fact, System Divided was burned down to the ground. But henceforth, it could be a debut release from Oracles, or it could be the sophomore release from the former System Divide. But without a doubt, this is probably one of my all-time favorite releases of 2015, and could very well probably be in my future top 30 albums of 2016 videos. Who knows? It might come down to that, and there are works to it. So please check out Oracles Miserycorde. This is an amazing band, kick-ass band, and just support them regardless and all that shit. Just check them out. Without further ado, ladies and gents, I am Atticus, a death metaler. Hope you liked this video. Subscribe to my channel. Links are in the description below. Keep it metal. Have a wonderful day.